Hello everyone, Zeak here again, and it's time to start talking about capital ships. Now, as I've stated in the first video, I love capital ships, and today we will be talking about the Destroyer. As stated so far, it is the smallest capital ship and is loaded with small weapon turrets to act as a defensive platform against strike crafts. Also, its size allows it to be faster and more agile than its bigger brothers. So it's covered in small turrets. Sounds like a larger version of the Corvette, so right off the bat, its weapons and tank are going to really change the field of battle the moment the first one comes out the hangar doors. Still, with its power and size, it has to cost an arm and a leg, and this is just the first capital. So cost is one limitation. Are there any more? Well, can it descend onto a planet's surface? I bet the thing is heavy, so probably not. This means any capital will have to give planets a wide berth, as planets are deadly to them. Good place for small ships to hide, though. It would also make a capital-only fleet quite worthless at defending planet surface structures. Also, it sounds like a capital is only holding one player, so no need to gather your friends to man the turrets. Thank God, because most of my friends can't shoot. They have stated that multiple corvettes can take out a single destroyer, but can multiple destroyers take out one cruiser? Considering the firepower and tank that cruisers should bring with it, it would take a lot of destroyers. So let's first take a look at the destroyer's armament. Bunch of small turrets is already known, but let's focus on the main guns. Now I'm betting this thing can pack one hell of a punch, as it should be capable of holding at least one capital cannon. I'm hoping with capitals they give their equipment slots space instead of number of slots. This would allow the capitals to have many smaller forward guns, or just a few larger ones. This would make loadouts quite interesting and creative, allowing it to have either a high alpha or have high DPS. Also, it can change the range and any other combination you can think of. Also, since the ship is more of an anti-strike craft than anything, its ordnance could be capable of long-range, self-tracking multi-warhead missiles to help it project it in areas in sudden need of it. Now that we are in capital ships, they should have a lot of space for equipment, so there needs to be enough to allow many combinations of each to keep them unique. So with this in mind, let's see what we can come up with. Since a destroyer is the fastest and most agile of the large ships, it could get maneuvering thrusters to aid in agility, heavy engines for speed and acceleration, an enhanced point defense system, jammer system, ECCM, armor, and possibly a mini hangar. Now these are ideas that just came to me at the time of this writing, so there are many more possibilities that can be added. As this is the case, I will create separate discussion for capital ship equipment possibilities instead of going into detail for the next ships. On the forums, there seems to be a rather long discussion about capital ships being able to go planet-side long before I started making these videos. Upon posting my videos to the forums, a small discussion happened on this subject, and after a couple of days or so, another member stated an idea that came from the forums. This idea being the anti-gravity generator. Now this will be copy and pasted from that thread, and there is some math in one of these, so check the description or my very first post just in case this is too long for the description. But here are some of the ideas. Ship captains can add gravity drives as a loadout option. Gravity drives allow them to fly down to the planet, but the closer to the planet they get, the more power the drive requires to function. Balance-wise, hovering a couple hundred meters off the ground will require its entire energy generation capacity on an Earth-like planet, leaving energy-based weapons and shields offline, but self-contained munitions would still be viable. Capital ships are designed for space. Destruction of one or more of the anti-gravity drive subcomponents would remove support for the structure as a whole, and possibly cause the ship to buckle under its own weight while in the atmosphere. This idea is interesting, sound, and gives the player the ability to choose, with each having their own pros and cons. Now, they called it an anti-gravity drive. However, as a drive is a term more used as an FTL, I prefer the anti-gravity generator, or AGG for short. So far, the capital ships could have a huge potential, and I'm drooling to get behind the controls of one. As the weapon types of the capital ships are more varied when compared to strike craft, I will make a discussion about what each type can do, as well as the earlier mentioned equipment discussion. As always, please leave your ideas and suggestions in the comments below, and until then, help keep space epic.